Hey, Lori. Turn this light off behind me. Barking back at Angela's, or was that yours, Lori?
No, mine's not.
Okay.
No, I don't know where they went. I'm worried they are gonna start barking. But
All good if they do.
oh.
We adopted a new dog last week.
Oh, you did? Oh, what'd you get?
Okay. If she comes in here, I'll show her off. She is a mutt. We think maybe Pomeranian, Chihuahua, Spaniel, something.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a little mutt.
That's good. We like the mutts.
Yeah. She seems to only have a couple of mental health issues that we need to work on. Not too bad.
Well, I mean, we have one of those too. The last dog we adopted, because we have two now, but the last dog we adopted, she's got, I mean, when you look at her, you're like, it looks like crazy eyes.
That's really funny.
She always has this worried look on her face, like she did something, and she hasn't. Like,
so. Yeah, you're like, what are you anxious about right now? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, she sleeps with Addison, and
that's good.
Yeah, I'm on my phone today because I'm having computer issues, so I'm like trying to like get this thing to work. We had to do so like crazy, like update stuff, and I don't know. And then we did like a malware thing, and I don't know. It's just back in.
You should be able to follow along fine on your phone.
Yeah,
I think some people listen in on their phone and then have their whole computer to follow along.
Yeah, it actually might work better than I was. Yeah.
And then some people can't follow along. They have to listen and then go do it later because they'll get distracted if they're trying to do it at the same time, or not distracted, but behind. So, and these are all always recorded. You can always go to quantrain.com and see any recordings. Usually within a day they're up. So, in this class, we are going to go over how to turn in your deal when you get something under contract using command. So it's called your commission. And this is what you need to do to turn all your stuff into Sherry and get paid. So for those of you guys that are vets to the office, this is in lieu of a green sheet. So if you're going to do a commissions tab in command, you don't do a green sheet. It's one or the other. And we are working towards everybody in the office doing a commissions tab instead of a green sheet. So you'll find it's a little bit more intuitive than a green sheet. So hopefully you'll like it better. So we're gonna approach this as if we don't really use command for contact management, and we are just turning in a contract, and I will comment as we go, sort of things you can do to expand that experience to be more impactful on your business, if that makes sense. Because go ahead. Somebody have a question?
No, I just said okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, for Pete's sake, Tommy. All right. So, in order to turn in a contract, the first thing you have to do is put your clients in. Okay. So I'm here on the contacts applet on the left-hand side. You can see all your different parts of commands. You can click on the KW to see the words. And so I'm going to go to contacts, and I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of fictitious people. Let's, I always like Dolly Parton to buy a house with me. Maybe that would be fun.
My fake person is my dog.
That's good. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's good to have a couple of people in your database to play with. And also always put yourself in too. You can practice to see what it looks like to the client on the client side. Let's give her an address because I'm going to go ahead and do a listing. So, oh, there's actually, let's sell this Gainesville property. Okay. I'm going to go down and create her. Obviously, you would want to put email, phone number, as much information as you have about her when you have it. So if I look at this contact, let me really quick edit it. Let's add a spouse really quick. So right here, as I'm editing the contract, there's an add relationship. So this could be any family member. You can also do like an other or business partner. Like if you have an investor and they always do deals together, you can go ahead and link them together. So maybe she's, buying something with Kenny Rogers. That would be appropriate, right? Okay. So it says I don't have a Kenny Rogers yet, so I need to create one by adding. So I just add that, and you'll see that that's going to add Kenny Rogers as a whole separate contact in my contacts. And what's important about that and creating them as spouses instead of saying, it's, oh, I even spelled her name wrong. That's terrible. In some databases, people will put Dolly and Kenny or something like that, right? When you're doing spouses, they have different last names. So it's a little different to look at that. But here, it's holiday card time. So if I've got these people tagged as getting my holiday card, all I have to do is go here and export mailing labels. I don't know why it's on there twice, but so we'll see if that's, oh, there it is. It's already available. So there's my mailing labels. And if I download that, don't make me a liar. Don't make me a liar. Oh, for crying out loud. It's supposed to say Dolly and Kenny because they're spouses.
Okay.
In the mailing labels. Now, mailing labels just got back. They were not working for a little while. So hopefully that will go back to doing spouses here in a second.
You can export your addresses to mailing labels to mail stuff out.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
You can mail postcards right from here, but let's say you do a holiday card on tiny prints or something.
Yeah.
That you can export, and it actually comes out. This is the Excel, but there's also one that is a PDF, and I think that PDF matches Avery labels, the most popular Avery label.
Okay.
So that, okay. So we've got our contacts in. So there's a couple ways you can create an opportunity. You can create it right from the contact record here. or you can create it on the opportunities page, which is this little handshake over here on the left. So within the contact record, I'm just going to go to opportunities and then click on create an opportunity. So that's going to prompt me to enter the basics for this deal. So we're going to list her house. This will say your name. You know, my name on this account is Demo MC 178. I should probably go ahead and change that so it's not confusing. My client is Dolly Partum. And you can see that it automatically pulls up related contacts because I had put Kenny in. So if I want to make Kenny the co-seller, I can do that right here. Opportunity name is going to automatically name it Dolly Partum listing. In the office, they want to make sure that we always have the address name. So I can't remember what it was called, Island something. So we always do the address first, then the client name, then the listing. I think that's a pretty common way to name these opportunities, but the office wants to make sure that the address is in there. If you're working on a buyer deal, know that you won't necessarily have the address yet. But if you're just, like I said, doing this just to turn in your contracts and you're not using command at all, then you will know the address because you'll have a contract at this point.
Okay.
But to really utilize command to its fullest potential, you want to create an opportunity at the earliest point that you find them a viable lead, right? So if you just talk to somebody casually at the grocery store one day and they're like, yeah, we want to move one day. To me, that doesn't come in as an opportunity yet.
Right.
I may put them on a follow-up smart plan, or I may put a note and a task to make sure and follow up and see how that's coming. I typically only create an opportunity if I know the transaction is going to happen in the next 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
You know, or maybe it's a sure deal in a year. But I'm typically just doing, and that's all for you to define about your business. You know, what does an some people put every single ding dong lead in as a low probability opportunity. To me, that's work that's not really worth it. So I'm going to be putting this in as this is a listing, and I want to we've got phases and stages. So your phases, you cannot change. There are 5 phases that Keller Williams says that we have. When you enter these from the contact, you only have these 3, but there's also under contract and closed. Okay, so you can always edit it later if you're entering this as a contract. But let's say we just took the listing and we need to do the listing agreement and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say it's an active listing. So those are your phases: cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and sold. Now underneath each phase, you're going to see more of this in a second, you can do as many or few stages as you want, and you can name them whatever you want. So for me, an active listing has 3 phases, 3 stages. The stages for me are staging the listing, showing, which means it's active and being shown, or negotiations. And as soon as negotiations are done, it moves to the next phase, which is under contract.
Okay.
So I'm going to say I signed this listing agreement and we are in the staging stage, as if that's not confusing enough.
That's okay. Yeah.
A stage called staging. You can estimate your list price and commission at this point. It's not locked in. It's just for your pipeline calculator, which is going to kind of show you what potential income you have coming in. An estimated close date has something to do with that as well. Tags right here have nothing to do with your tags on your people. So contact tags are one thing. Opportunity tags are if you want to be able to sort all of your deals and say, how many deals did I do in Alpharetta? How many deals did I do with millennials? How many deals did I do with investors? So if you're looking to, in 2021, I want to do this huge millennial first-time buyer marketing push, and I want to track how many millennial buyers I close. You might want to create a tag called millennials so that you can track that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll create this opportunity. And when I do that, it's going to show up in the opportunity list on the timeline of our person here. Okay. So I'm going to click over on the opportunity and show you a little bit more information about it.
All right. Where did you just click on that? Where was that?
Sure. I'll go back.
Sorry. I thought I could see it, but I didn't see it. Like I'm because I'm doing it along with you in mine.
You don't even have to go back because it opened a new tab. So I'm on the contact record and I clicked right here.
Okay. I thought I saved mine. It doesn't look like mine popped up. Okay.
One thing I have missed before is you have to scroll all the way to the bottom and hit save instead of just Xing out of it. It feels like you should be able to just X out of it and it'd be okay. But you have to click first. So if you click on it, it actually opens a new window, which is helpful, into the opportunity detail.
Okay.
So I think of each opportunity as a file folder for the whole deal. So in my file folder, the detail page is that front piece of paper that has everybody's name and number on it and maybe important dates and just kind of a little bit of information. So here you've just got kind of cards that give you some basic information about your deal. And you can go up to the top here and you can click on the pencil and you can edit.
Okay.
And so this, you can see, different from the create page, you've got a few more dates and options to mess with. One of the cool things about Command that a lot of people are not using to its fullest is its ability to help you plan and business plan. And so it is going to be able to track and watch your conversion rates from, say, I had an appointment with this seller and then we listed it, right?
Yeah.
So you may go on 20 appointments, but only list 18 of them, which is a pretty good conversion rate. So the only way Command is going to know that and be able to track it and help you plan for the future is if you put these dates in here in the opportunity. It uses opportunities to help you with your business plan. So if you want to use that part of it, just make sure you put all your dates in, and that'll help you.
Okay.
So, and I have gone back to some of my old ones and just put an estimate in, even though I couldn't remember exactly when I went. Or maybe when I won the agreement. I don't know. Was it that day? I don't know. And I've just guessed, just so that Command knows that I did convert it.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Okay. So that's your detail page. Let me go back really quick and show you what the whole sales pipeline looks like. If you were to click just on the shaking hands on the left, you're going to see an overview of all of your opportunities. Okay. So it gives you a graphic view so you can see how many deals you have in each phase. Right. So right now we have one active listing. So it shows up right here.
Right.
Now, because it's active, it's not necessarily definitely going to close, right?
Right.
So Command has how probable is this to close? And so it's giving me, if it definitely closes, it means 13.5 in commission. Yay. But because it's not closed yet, it's only given me credit for 67.50.
Okay.
So this probable income is a good quick check on how many deals I have and how likely they are to close. Because you can have like 20 leads in Cultivate and you're much less likely to close those than if they're under contract.
Mm-hmm.
So this number is going to go up the farther you move that deal in your pipeline. Okay.
Okay.
You can also click on all opportunities and just see a list. If you like to see things in a more of a list form, this will show you all of your deals like as a table.
Okay.
Okay. So if we click on any one of these phases, you're going to get a view of your stages within that phase. So remember, we had staging, showing, and negotiations. So let's say it's listing day and we're putting it in the MLS. That's when my deal goes from staging to showing. So what's cool is you can actually grab this card and just drag it over. And now it's in the showing stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll come back if we have time, but it's a separate class than this one to talk about checklists that you can make for each of these stages that automatically launch. Once it's in the showing, there's a certain number of things to do, and you can set up those templates so that you always have that checklist for every deal. But that's kind of a different class on running your business through opportunities. Today we just want to turn in our contract, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. So, because we also have, side note, see, I get excited about the things that help your business. Side note is we now have the ability to either share or not share all of those to-dos with our client.
Okay.
So as you check off, ran Facebook ad, put flyers in the house, called 100 people and told them about our listing, whatever you do to market your house, as you check them off, you have the option to push that to your seller so that they're automatically in communication every day that says, today your agent did all these things for you.
Okay.
Right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But fortunately, you can say, because you're going to have a to-do that says call your seller and check in on them.
Yeah.
And that one you would have the option like, don't share this with my seller.
Right.
You want them to think a reminder. All right. So now we're going to go over to documents. This is our first important step to turning in our deal. So over here, I clicked on the documents tab that's across the top.
Yep.
Okay. And then there's a drop down that says pick your checklist type. So some of us were talking about turning in a referral the other day. This is where you do the drop down and you click on referral.
Okay.
This is going to allow you to upload the documents if you're doing an agent to agent referral. Okay. So obviously there's no documents, but the under contract documents are the referral agreements. And your closed DA. Okay. So that's how you do a referral. To switch to residential, which is the majority of what we're going to be turning in, you can see that you have 3 folders underneath residential. You've got listed documents, under contract documents, and closed documents. Okay, so listed is going to be your listing agreement, your seller signed disclosure statements, and things like that. Under contract documents is going to be your earnest money, your purchase and sale, your exhibits, your addendums, anything that you have that's related to the contract. And then your closed documents, you can see is a DA, a settlement statement, and if it's your own house, an agent owner letter. So this is the list of documents that Sherry has come up with that she wants turned in. Obviously, depending on the contract, not every one of these is required, right? Because you don't need a lead-based paint if it was built after 1978. So that one will be blank if you're turning in a property.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was wondering about, as far as like, where do you see like all the potential documents that you would need for each transaction. So this is where I would see all that.
This is a good list for you, right?
Yeah.
So you're either going to do a green sheet or you're going to do a commissions tab, like I'm going to show you in a minute. Contract corrections is the form that Sherry gives you that says you've done this right and you've done this wrong.
Okay.
Earnest money check is just a scan of the check. Earnest money deposit is proof that it was deposited. Hopefully you're not going to have very many termination and releases. That's what cancels the contract, but you're always going to have a purchase and sale. So, as you go through here, some are going to be condominium. You're not going to have a single family.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is a decent list to start with of what is required. Okay. We can probably also get you a copy of a blank contract correction sheet that shows kind of what Sherry checks.
Oh, yeah.
That would be helpful. And you may even have one in your onboarding stuff if they gave you a binder or anything. No. Okay.
No.
Remind me. I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
Okay. So those are that's kind of the placeholders for the documents you need, right?
Right.
So if you have connected your command account to an e-signing platform, either DocuSign or .loop, you'll have connected that up in your settings, right?
Yes. So I've played around in DocuSign a little bit.
Okay, good, good. And there's a whole separate DocuSign class that'll teach you the ins and outs of DocuSign specifically. But to connect each opportunity to DocuSign, you're going to go right here and start a transaction. Okay. So this account actually doesn't have a DocuSign attached to it yet. I could probably make one, but so I don't have one to start there, right?
Yeah, mine is connected. So
okay. If you're using RDocs or you just want to keep signing in .loop and not connect it to your command or anything like that, anytime that you're ready to turn in a contract, you're going to go down here and you're going to find the purchase and sale, and you're going to click on add a file. Okay. So add a file, because I don't have DocuSign connected, my only option is to go and find it on my computer.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. So finding it on your computer is one way to add your documents. So let's just find something on my desktop. Surely there's a PDF on my desktop. Let's do something different. Okay, so let's say this is my purchase and sale, which it's not, but so you just hit open and then assign that, and that's going to assign that document to the purchase and sale placeholder.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now when Sherry logs in, or if you want to just check something on your purchase and sale, you can click on this and you can view it.
Okay.
Okay. You can download it, you can print it, you can do all kinds of stuff from here. Okay.
Okay.
Let me log into my account real quick and show you the easier way. So let me go on maybe there's not very many deals yet, or all these Cultivate deals probably don't have so you can see my stages under Cultivate. I've customized to be No Way in Hell, Long Shot, Watch, Likely / Nurture, and Hot. Those are my stages. So I'm pretty sure Karen Faulkner doesn't have any documents because I have labeled her as in No Way in Hell, but I want to keep an eye on her anyways. All right, so I have set up transactions for her, but I can go to the transaction, and that's going to open DocuSign right in a separate tab. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you played with that. Okay. So if I continue to log in here, let me see what's in here. Okay, so I'm logged in there. So if I go to her documents and let's say she's a referral and I'm going to put the referral authorization in here and I have it signed in DocuSign. Then I'm going to go add file. And you see I've got another option here. So I can click on DocuSign and then I can go. Unfortunately, she doesn't have any documents in hers.
Okay. She has no documents associated with her, so there's no documents for you to choose from.
There's no documents associated with her in DocuSign.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to choose. Yeah. So, but I can add one real quick. Now she has one. So let's try this again. Add file from DocuSign. If your account is connected to .loop, it should show that.
Okay.
And you can see it showed additional page right here that I just did. So if you've got 25 documents right here, that's where this search files is helpful. You know, just so you're not having to scroll through a million of them. So then I assign just like I did if I uploaded it, and there it is. So you're going to work through the list and assign all the documents. If it's not listed, if you have some kind of weird disclosure or exhibit or something that's not listed as a placeholder, you can add item right here. And you can say, you know, relocation company disclosure. It might be something weird to have. It's a disclosure and I'm either going to get it from DocuSign or I'm going to upload it from my computer, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So that's how you can add an additional item to the list if you've got something that Sherry hasn't given you a placeholder for.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So you do have the option here to add a custom folder. There's not much reason to do that in our office. Just because Sherry's not going to see this. So maybe you would make a custom folder if you want to keep a copy of communication between you and the client, a PDF of that, or maybe you do a bunch of like net to sellers for them and you want to keep it here. In my opinion, like I don't need to keep those here. I keep them on my Google Drive and that's sufficient, you know, that kind of stuff. But if you wanted to keep it all here in one place, you can add custom folders and do that. Just know that Sherry doesn't see those. So, once you're done, you want to submit to the Market Center. Okay. So that's going to turn in all of the documents that you have here. Now it hasn't turned it in and notified them that you have a contract yet. It has just made those documents visible to them. Let's say that you have a buyer or seller. Wait, let me think through this. So for a seller, does this make sense? This is the part that's confusing. You have two options if the deal falls apart, okay? So if you have not done a commissions tab yet, that's the delineation. You have not done a commissions tab. You want to go to this under contract drop down and you want to create a new version. So new version might be like contract 2 or backup contract, or if you get multiple offers, you have to have a copy of each offer, right? So you might do those as multiple versions. That allows you to do 2 sets of purchase and sale documents, right? With different versions. Now here's the problem. Once you do a commissions tab, that deal is turned in with all of the details locked in stone. So if you have a deal fall apart, you actually need to create a new opportunity and archive this opportunity. Okay.
Okay.
There's two options for getting rid of an opportunity. One is to archive it and one is to lose it. And you'll see here on the details page, right here is where you click lost opportunity.
Wait, I for some reason I don't see that. Where are you? Hold on a second.
I am on the, is it lagging? I'm on the details page and it's on the far right. And it's just a radio button that says, I lost this opportunity.
Okay, because we know what.
Is that a phone
Oh,
problem?
I see it. I do. I see it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you click this over to lost, it actually counts against you on your stats of conversion.
Okay.
So, you know, let's say you have a listing, it goes under contract and then the buyer terminates. You didn't lose that opportunity. You still have the seller client. You're still going to close it. So if that's the case, then you want to go to the list here and you want to click on 3 dots and archive it.
Okay.
From this view. That's what I, you know, if I've got goofy opportunities from training and that kind of thing, I want to archive them and not lose them because.
Okay. That's what I was wondering about, because I've been playing and I didn't know how to get rid of them.
Yep. Click on those 3 dots and archive it. That's the best thing.
And then I also didn't know how to get rid of the DocuSign docs that I'm playing with too, because I don't want to leave all those in there too, but.
Right. Well, once you, but you should be fine to leave those in there because when you have a real transaction, you'll have, each transaction has a separate room.
Okay.
So you'll be starting with a fresh room.
Okay.
And that other room.
I didn't even think about that. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So now we got our documents all lined up. Now we're going to go to the offers tab. You can't make a commissions tab until you've done an offers tab. Okay. So you go to offers, add a new offer. I like to put the buyer's names here. Like if you have multiple offers, you can keep them separate by doing each one under the buyer's name. In my real life practice, I'm only filling in the things that are red starred here. I don't really use this for much else. The thinking is that you would use this, and you can use this to send a summary of each offer to your clients. And if you have multiple offers, you can actually put them in a table that compares them. I find that just typing that information out into an email or or a spreadsheet, if it's a lot of offers, is easier than this personally. But I've done it to test it for a multiple offer property, and it's pretty cool. I'll say it's pretty cool. It's just it just hasn't quite been one of the things that I want to adopt yet. So
okay, so this offer here, this is when you have an offer come into the seller and you're filling this out to kind of show the seller this is what your offer is. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the intent of this. In the spirit of I'm just doing this to turn in my contract, all I'm doing is putting enough information in here for it to accept the offer. See, it's like you have to put in the buyer's agent name.
Okay.
Right? I'm like, okay, fine. And then the next page, you still have to put in this. They've got to fix this soon. This is crazy. Oops, you have to put in how much cash and how much finance amount they have, loan amount they have. Right. So that's not what we normally do. We normally put the sales price and then back out the down payment, right, from the finance contingency. But you have to actually do the math to say, oh, their offer's 420 and they're putting 20% down or whatever that is. It's not 20% down. So I know the down payment is this. You have to actually work that out. Okay. earnest money amount. See, and these aren't even required. I'm not even going to put them in right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't feel like it.
I don't feel like it.
Just being honest. Okay. If you're going to use this as a tool to compare offers for your clients, you can put pros and cons, you know, all cash, long due diligence. You know, you can put a pros and cons and that'll show up in the table that you send them. Okay.
Okay.
You really just have to put enough information so that you get an offer here that you can accept. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to hit accept. All right. So you see, as soon as I hit accept, now I've got a commissions tab available to me. That was my whole point of doing an offer. Now, fancy style, you can also take your offer and you can add a counter offer. You can add the whole timeline of the negotiation and stuff, which I think is like a little much, but now if you have two offers in here, we'll just zoom through it. Let's say their offer is 50 down. Oops. Finance 400. And you fill out all the other stuff, you save it. So now I have two offers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can click on these two offers and I can click compare.
Okay. So
this is what I can email to my client.
Okay.
There's the offers to each other and it looks pretty cool. It's not,
yeah.
You know. See, I said download it. Oh, there we go. So this is what it looks like when you send it to them. So I think that looks fine.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Okay. So that's what that looks like. But for our purposes,
right,
we accepted the one offer and now we're going to go to commissions.
Okay.
Okay. So commissions looks a lot like an old green sheet did, which is really where we just turned in our deals there. You can see I didn't put that required information into the offer. If I had, it would have pulled it in. So it pulled in a lot of stuff from the offer and from the detail page.
Mm-hmm.
So if those are correct, you'll have some good information here. And you're going to, so here I can edit this general information and I can put that the binding date was today. And we're going to close it on Friday. That's awesome. Excited about that. Okay. And so you can see as I change stuff, it's actually going to update here in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in my account, it actually knows that I'm capped.
Okay.
And actually the office owes me a penny from my last deal.
Yeah.
So you can see that it's calculated that they need to pay me an extra penny on this next deal. So before you've capped, this is going to be updated to show your percentages.
Gotcha.
Pre-capped. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I did the edit general information. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to talk about payment. Okay.
Okay.
So if you edit your agent payment, you can change it to be one or less units. So if you're splitting this deal with somebody else, if you brought another agent in to help you and you're giving them part of the commission, that's where you would change this.
Okay.
Royalty and company commission is automatically calculated, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So right here, do I want to give to KW Cares out of this deal? I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Do I want to give KW Kids Can? You can say, you know, this is your choice.
Gotcha.
KW Cares is tax deductible. It's a 501c. So anything that you give there, make sure and keep track of for your taxes.
Okay.
KW Kids Can is awesome, but it's not a 501c.
Okay.
Bold Scholarship, our office doesn't have one going right now, I don't think, but that's something that you can contribute towards a Bold Scholarship sometimes of the year. Okay. And then you can add extra things on here. So if you want to add an item like you're paying for their home warranty, or I always put FMLS on here. So FMLS is another deduction of however much it is. I said this was a 420 deal. So FMLS is 0.0012 of your purchase price. So for a $420,000 house, that's $502.
Okay.
Okay.
No, do you always do that for yourself to have that done?
Have what done? FMLS?
Yeah, you just go ahead and
if it's listed in FMLS, you have to put it in.
Right. So, but you always, I mean, I guess I didn't word that right. There's nothing that's automatic about it. You have to do it, is what I'm saying.
You have to do it. That's right. You have to do it.
Okay.
So, and I think you can call it a deduction or a concession. If you call, this way is easier. If you call it a concession, you don't have to put in all that other stuff. Okay. So you can just add it there. So let's see if it put it on there. A deduction is going to be like a referral fee.
Okay.
Okay. And you go ahead and put in the agent's tax ID and address and all of that stuff in there for that referral fee. So you can see here, it took that concession off the total commission, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. And so then it calculates all out here. Now, the easiest thing to do when this is concession 510, like if that's not labeled as FMLS, right?
Right.
So you're going to want to go in here and add a note. And that just, Sherry will read that to know that that's what that is. Okay. So it's better to have.
When you have a note in there like, I'm sorry, when you have a note in there like that, is that something that they take care of or something that you take care of?
So any of those notes they're going to see. In general, like an FMLS fee, they send a check from our office to FMLS every month.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they add up all of our FMLS fees and send it. So basically we're just taking it out of our commission, and the office holds it until it's time to pay it. So
gotcha. Okay.
You don't have to do anything about that.
Okay.
Yep. So adding notes is good to, whatever you've got going on, go ahead and explain it. And all of that to say, like, this is a national system right here, right? Yeah. So things like FMLS, which is specific to Atlanta, that comes out of our closing, like they don't have a line item for it here. So
gotcha. Okay.
Just know, this isn't going to fit every situation perfectly. All that. If you are working on a team or you're splitting a deal with an agent in the office or something, you can add the agent right here by payment.
Okay.
You add another agent. Let's say we're splitting a deal. This is going to have a drop down of all the agents in our office. So it's only our office.
Okay.
Now you have to adjust the units. Okay. So let's say you did the whole deal, but I helped you and you're going to give me 25% of the deal. Okay. So that means I got 0.25 units. Okay. And I can calculate the commission on that and it's going to split it for me already.
Okay.
Make sense? So let's save that. I see a question come in. I'll check you in just a second. Now, over here, I've got some problems, okay? It didn't like my concession, so I'll check that. But look, I have too many units because I gave myself a whole unit and I gave you a quarter unit. So that means I need to change this. You can only have one whole unit for each deal.
Okay.
So whoever's splitting it, you just make it add up to 1. You can also do the units and the split separately. That's another. All right, what we got? Oh, yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, FMLS is 0.0012 of your purchase price. Okay. Was that confusing as all get out? I don't know. Missing information listing. I'm not sure where that's missing. Listing. And I don't know why your cap isn't on here. Maybe because you're not on my team. It doesn't tell me what your cap is. It would probably calculate it once it gets turned in. Oh, you have to pick the listing. That's what it is. So what if you're doing a listing that's not in the FMLS? Let me think about that for a minute. So in command, you can go find any listing. So let's just say we did this one. And it's going to tie it to, so it ties the actual listing to the opportunity, okay?
Okay.
All right, so now I'm down to just invalid concession. That's got to be this 510. Straight editing it. So $510 is concession on the closing statement. No. Is it off the top? Is the Market Center paying? Yes, the Market Center does pay. Let's see if that helps. There we go. Company commission for Carrie is 510. Oh, it's confused because I'm capped and I'm taking the 510 off. See, I think it needs to be a deduction, y'all. I'll tell you this. I know that, me trying to figure out this right now, you're like, what? I'm never going to be able to figure this out. I know. Okay. Because I'm a little C type, I really like this summary to look like my DA. And the DA is the sheet that you get of like how you were paid with your check. Like, I really like that to match. That's just my, I don't know, kind of ADD.
No, I'm a C. I think we are the same because.
Yeah. But, so Sherry, the office will tell you that because the deduction concession situation is not ideal, which it's not, you see that I'm messing with it right now, that you don't even have to put this 510 on here. You can just put it as a note. And the office knows that you have to pay
gotcha.
FMLS out of every deal. And they also, you've got to pay at close /DA in your documents. That is going to be more accurate. So putting it as a note here is sufficient officially according to the office. Let me mess with it for just one more minute and see if I can make it right, making it a deduction. Because I really like it to match. I know most of y'all agents out there don't give as much of a flip as I do. If it matches, you just want to get your check, right? I know. All right, so let's call it a deduction. So this is the one I think this is right because I've been annoyed by it. That you actually, you have to put an address. So why don't we just make something up, right? Let's just try it. I don't know why I care that this up here is accurate and then I put BS in it like that and to be completely inaccurate, but it makes me feel better. There you go, that worked. Other
Yay.
Deduction, 5, yay. So 8,900 is going to me, 2016 is going to Lori, 510 is coming off of mine for FMLS. We got some, yeah, so that all works. Okay, when you're done, you're gonna hit submit, and that is what alerts the office that you have a contract, okay? So if you don't hit the submit button, or you don't turn in a green sheet, parentheses, they don't know you have a contract at all. They don't know to check it. They don't know to make sure the earnest money's in. So you've gotta hit that submit button. And if you're just playing and learning how to do this and practicing, don't hit submit because then they'll have all these fake deals, right? I would say at least once a month, Billy asks me what the status is on a deal with Dolly Parton. And I have to laugh and be like, no, that was in class, dude. I'm sorry. So that is how you turn it in. That's the part that's in lieu of a green sheet. If you want to jump from doing green sheets to come over here and do this commissions tab, that's what we'll do it.
Quick question for you, Carrie. It's Mick.
Yes, sir.
With this command system, and you're co-oping with an agent in the office, is it still just the listing agent that does all of this, or do both agents do it?
Yeah. Yep. So I think you would hit the co-broker payment here instead of the add an agent, because the add another agent is the one where you're splitting that one unit. Add co-broker payment. No, that's tax ID. Oh, I know. You'll edit this right here to be 2 units in general information. So if both agents are in our office, you're going to edit that to be 2 units, and then you'll add up an agent under payment and add that other agent for the other, and you'll do 1 unit and 1 unit, just like you did on the green sheet. Yep. Good question.
Thank
I
you.
haven't had that come up for me yet. Good question. Any other questions? That wasn't my smoothest presentation of that. I hope it didn't make you guys more confused than you started. If you ever get stuck, you can always shoot me an email. I'm happy to record little 5-minute videos of how to do stuff. I do that all the time for people. So give it a shot. You cannot really break it, I promise. So don't be scared to play. And that's it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go write contracts so you can turn them in.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you soon.
All right. Okay. Bye.